Aos 15 anos, o mundo inteiro observava uma garota tentando entender quem realmente era. Miley Cyrus cresceu diante das câmeras e, quando finalmente tentou mostrar um novo lado de si, o mundo simplesmente se voltou contra ela. Seu álbum Can't Be Tamed deveria representar liberdade, mas para muitos, o simples ato de uma jovem mulher dizer que não pode ser domada foi visto como provocação. A mídia transformou um título em escândalo, e o que era arte virou julgamento. Naquele momento, Miley tentava se afirmar como artista, não apenas como o rosto de uma personagem. Ela acreditava que sua voz inspirava garotas a sonhar, não a figura perfeita criada pela Disney. Mas ninguém parecia disposto a ouvir isso. O lançamento de Breakout simbolizava a tentativa de romper as paredes da imagem infantil.
Let's talk about this new album. It's called Breakout, and what I find so interesting is that this is you breaking out of your character as Hannah Montana. That's a big step.
It is, which it totally excites me that people are still, lining up just as much as they were for my character, because it's such a, big thing because of my show. And here I don't even have the support of a show or anything. It's just the music, and that the kids get it and understand me and understand, the love for the art of it.
Ainda assim, a mídia observava cada passo com desconfiança. Era como se já esperassem por sua queda, repetindo o mesmo roteiro que tantas outras estrelas viveram antes dela. Comparações com Britney Spears surgiam a todo instante. Desde muito jovem, diziam a Miley o que não deveria se tornar, como se o destino de toda estrela adolescente fosse desabar. Enquanto tentava manter os pés no chão, o mundo lá fora a julgava. O sistema que a transformou em ídolo também aprendeu dentro de uma imagem impossível de sustentar. Em 2008, tudo piorou. Um hacker invadiu seu e-mail pessoal, roubou fotos privadas e as espalhou pela internet. Ela era apenas uma adolescente, mas, em vez de apoio, recebeu desprezo.
Baker investigates this young computer whiz who allegedly he stole personal photos from Miley Cyrus.
Take a look at this.
He may look like your average teen, but this 19-year-old is being investigated by the FBI. Dubbed the Hollywood hacker, Josh Hawley reportedly broke into the MySpace accounts for Chris Brown, Rihanna, and Fall Out Boy. But his most notorious hack, allegedly breaking into and stealing from Miley Cyrus's personal email, and instead of being remorseful, he bragged about it to a Phoenix radio station.
I kind of got bored, and I just hacked her email for boredom.
Josh, who goes by the screen name Trainwreck, talked about finding racy photos of the teen when she was only 15 and posting them on the internet for the world to see, embarrassing her and upsetting her fans.
There are several pictures that no one has gotten a hold of yet that I want to kind of save onto those and maybe quite possibly sell them.
While he has apparently not yet followed through on that threat, last October, the FBI raided Josh's Tennessee apartment. Our Ken Baker traveled to Franklin, Tennessee, and spoke exclusively with Josh's former roommate and her mother.
I really do think it was an overt obsession.
He's just basically invading her privacy, putting pictures up all over the internet for everyone to see that were embarrassing to her.
I think he was kind of, it seems sadistic kind of. This girl hasn't done anything to you. He felt like he had the power and that nothing could happen to him.
In fact, besides posting Miley's private pictures online, which led to her apologizing to her fans, Ashley says Josh got the star's cell phone number.
And he calls her. What does he say?
Apparently he had called before because all she said was, I don't want to talk to you, leave me alone.
FBI officials here at the Nashville field office declined to go on camera, but they did tell me that the investigation is ongoing, but that Josh Hawley's current whereabouts are unknown.
Os noticiários trataram o crime como entretenimento. As manchetes a chamavam de irresponsável, como se fosse culpada por sua própria exposição. Miley foi forçada a pedir desculpas, não por algo que fez, mas pelo que fizeram com ela. Sou jovem, cometo erros e nunca quis decepcionar ninguém. Foi o que ela disse, mas a sociedade não quis ouvir. Logo depois, viria outro golpe. Um ensaio para a revista Vanity Fair, clicado por uma das fotógrafas mais respeitadas do mundo, mostrou uma imagem delicada e artística de Miley, envolta em um lençol, o rosto sereno, o olhar distante. Mas o que deveria ser arte foi transformado em polêmica. A mesma mídia que a elevou agora a chamava de má influência. E o público que antes a via como exemplo passou a tratá-la como ameaça. O que ninguém percebia era que, por trás das manchetes, havia apenas uma menina tentando crescer, diante de um mundo que não perdoa quem decide mudar.
It's the photograph that has launched a firestorm. The 15-year-old's provocative pose, hair wet, with only a discreetly placed sheet covering her top. The controversial photo is the cover story of today's New York Post. The Disney Channel, which broadcasts Hannah Montana, is not happy about the photos, telling us, quote, "Unfortunately, as the article suggests, a situation was created to deliberately manipulate a 15-year-old in order to sell magazines." Inside the issue of Vanity Fair on stands this week, the superstar is lovingly cradled by her father, Billy Ray. He was on hand for most of the shoot with famed photographer Annie Leibovitz. In this video from the set, you can see Billy Ray leaving with her mom and their younger daughter. A source on the set tells us only Miley's grandmother and teacher were there for what ended up being the last shot of the day.
And she allowed Annie to sort of, do this one picture, which at the time it didn't really seem provocative at all.
In the article, Miley said of the photo, quote, "I think it's really artsy and you can't say no to Annie."
Miley had no problem with it whatsoever.
With Vanity Fair about to hit newsstands, Miley wants the millions who idolize and adore her to know she is sorry, saying, quote, "I never intended for any of this to happen, and I apologize to my fans who I care so deeply about."
Fans and parents react after Miley Cyrus poses for a provocative photo shoot. Does that change your image of Hannah Montana?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of shocked.
I'm embarrassed for them, actually.
I would have thought she wanted to be a better role model.
I believe if that picture had been taken in her mid-20s, it would have been okay. I don't think anybody would have flinched at it. But at 15 years old, no.
It makes her look like a, scum. It makes her look like a little
Gina Anselmo watches Hannah Montana every day with 15-year-old Jordan. That's why it's no surprise the controversial pictures by legendary photographer Annie Leibovitz shocked the Jupiter mother and her daughter.
Be smart about it and realize the position that you're in and that everybody's going to want to try and find the bad, But, yeah, I think it's definitely a tough situation to be in, and I've been in it before, and it is what it is, and it's life, and you go on,
Call me cynical, but does she really feel so embarrassed, or is everybody glad about all of the attention and all the publicity that this is getting?
Well, in this photo shoot, as you mentioned, she appears to be wrapped in just a sheet. So is the image too sexy for the Disney Channel star? Disney seems to think so, saying the teen was manipulated in a statement to the New York Post.
I think this is a good lesson for her to learn so she doesn't go down the path that Britney Spears went down or some of the other girls.
And she says she's embarrassed. Look, she's 15. She should have known better. She should have thought of about that before she took her clothes off.
She apologized for the picture, and on top of that, people are trying to defend her, saying that she was manipulated into posing like that and taking that picture. And now she feels like she has to apologize to save her career. It's ridiculous.
The photo that was taken of her is seemingly looking topless with the sheet wrapped around her. What was your reaction when you saw that picture? Did you know it was going to be in the magazine?
Oh, Lord, no. I wasn't there when that picture was taken. I had just finished a movie down in Florida. I flew in because Annie had specifically asked that I would come in and do a shot with Miley. So I flew into L.A., did my picture with Miley, and then I headed on up to Washington State to play for the troops. So I wasn't there at the time.
Because it didn't look like a father and a daughter. It looked like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. And now when you look, but it's true. I mean, a lot of bloggers were very upset by that.
Bloggers say a lot of different things, but not a mistake to me. If it is to someone else, I'm sorry if I offended somebody.
Photographer Annie Leibovitz said in a statement today, quote, "I'm sorry that my portrait of Miley has been misinterpreted. The photograph is a simple classic portrait shot with very little makeup, and I think it is very beautiful."
Miley, I'm very curious about, this is something that you tweeted yesterday, and so this is a screen grab from Twitter. You wrote, "I'm not sorry, F you, hashtag 10 years ago." So you took a picture of this New York Post. Did you have this in your house? You came across it?
No, I found this because I never really keep track of the years that have gone by since something like this. And so I guess it was apparently 10 years ago. And I think a lot of things have changed. And I think the conversation has changed a lot. And I think, something that I really thought about was, sure, some people thought that I did something wrong in their eyes. But I think it was really wrong of someone to put on top of someone that this is my shame and that I should be ashamed of myself.
Well, that's the New York Post.
That's not a nice thing to tell someone that they should be ashamed of themselves.
No, yeah, but that's...
Besides Donald Trump.
But did you... At that time, did you apologize for doing that? I don't remember.
I think I did, but I'm sure someone told me
Someone
to.
told
But
you.
you know what? That's why I don't do what people tell me to anymore, because that idea sucks. So they want to know why I come on, TV shows with no shirt on. Blame them.
Do you remember who told you to apologize? Do you have any recollection of that?
I think at that time I just wanted this to go away, and I think I also was trying to balance and understand what being a role model is. And to me, I think being a role model has been my free-spiritedness and sometimes my unapologetic attitude for decisions that I feel comfortable with. And in the day, it's like anything else. For me, when this photo was taken, and I know this will probably get turned around too, but when this photo was taken, my little sister was here on set. She actually was sitting with Annie Leibovitz taking photos too, and there was nothing sexualized about this on set, and it was everyone else's poisonous thoughts and minds that ended up turning this into something that it wasn't meant to be. So actually, I shouldn't be ashamed. They should be.
A partir dali, as rachaduras entre Miley e a Disney começaram a ficar visíveis. Ela sentia que vivia sob uma lupa. Cada gesto, cada palavra, cada expressão era ampliada e julgada pela mídia. Com o tempo, a jovem aprendeu uma lição dura. Quando sua imagem é construída sobre a ideia de pureza, qualquer deslize pode ser transformado em escândalo. E, no mundo da Disney, ser mal comportada não era bom para os negócios. Mesmo assim, Miley tentava equilibrar as duas versões de si mesma. A garota que queria crescer e a estrela que precisava continuar perfeita para o público infantil.
Another thing Miley's learned in her short career is when you're a Disney star with an image built on innocence, being bad isn't good for business.
And that is what kids do, and there's going to be mistakes. But, I am a role model, and I keep a lot of pride in that. And it's important for me to remember that. But I can't grow up and also be a parent. You know what I mean? I can't be the person that sets the rules for everyone, because it's not my job. My job is to learn and to be a kid right now.
Durante as gravações da terceira temporada de Hannah Montana, começaram a circular rumores de que Miley estava pronta para deixar o estúdio e seguir sua própria carreira musical. Fontes próximas afirmavam que ela e o pai, Billy Ray, estavam tentando renegociar o contrato com a Disney, reduzindo o número de episódios prometidos, de 24 para apenas 12.
How long are you going to keep doing Hannah for then? You mentioned earlier you're halfway through the third series now. You're filming that at the moment.
Those bubbles are so distracting that are behind you. I can't quit watching them. I look cross-eyed on the screen probably because I'm like looking at the bubbles.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, wait, no. Wait, what was the question?
I can't remember.
I don't know. Whatever. Watch the movie.
A Disney, por sua vez, reagiu rapidamente. Em comunicado oficial, classificou as informações como puro boato, afirmando que havia inclusive uma opção para uma quarta temporada. Estamos muito felizes com o trabalho de todos e sabemos que Miley está comprometida com o sucesso de longo prazo da série, dizia a nota. Mas, pouco tempo depois, a própria Miley contou uma versão bem diferente. Em entrevista ao E! News, ela admitiu que aquela poderia sim ser a última temporada de Hannah Montana. Explicou que já interpretava a personagem desde os 12 anos e que o ritmo de trabalho era exaustivo, chegando a filmar 2 temporadas inteiras em um único ano.
Now, I've got a quote that I love, something along the lines of, I like to think of myself as the girl that no one can keep their hands on. Now, is that like your personal life or is that more your career?
All of the above. I don't like being contained in any way I feel like you need to explore. Something for me is I never want to feel like at the end of my life that I was stuck in one little small bubble. I want to do things that some people only dream of doing and never really get out there and do it. I don't want to be anyone that gets too stuck in, feeling like, I'm someone's little puppet. I never want to be that way.
Logo em seguida, em outra entrevista, Miley deixou escapar um comentário revelador. Ela explicava que odiava se sentir contida, presa dentro de uma bolha. Mas, por trás dessas palavras, havia exaustão.
So, we were excited. We wanted to perform together no matter what. We were planning it before we even knew if we were going to get a perform or not. We were like, we just have to go to the Grammys together or something because it's such a cool event. And so a lot of stuff happened when I was 15, so this song is really appropriate for me and it's cool. We love it.
2008 havia sido um dos anos mais difíceis de sua vida. Uma sequência interminável de compromissos, pressão e manchetes destrutivas. Com apenas 15 anos, Miley enfrentava críticas de adultos que pareciam esquecer que ela ainda era uma menina. Em meio ao caos, algo simbólico aconteceria. Miley completaria 16 anos, e como qualquer estrela da Disney, seu aniversário não seria apenas uma comemoração, seria um espetáculo cuidadosamente produzido. Em outubro de 2008, o Parque Disneyland, na Califórnia, foi fechado especialmente para celebrar o aniversário da jovem estrela. Os ingressos custavam $250 e o evento foi promovido como a festa de 16 anos de Miley Cyrus, um sonho na Disneyland. O local foi iluminado com tons de roxo e dourado, com fogos de artifício e uma performance ao vivo da própria Miley. Enquanto muitos adolescentes comemoravam de forma simples, ela cantava para milhares de fãs sob uma chuva de confete e flashes de câmeras. Para o público, era um momento mágico. Mas, por trás do brilho, havia algo mais profundo. A tentativa da Disney de reforçar a imagem da menina prodígio, ainda dentro da moldura de pureza e encanto infantil.
For the world's biggest teenage star, the world's biggest Sweet 16 party. Over 5,000 of Miley Cyrus's fans helped celebrate with a giant birthday cake, thrilling fireworks,
And happy birthday!
Happy birthday. And a parade of stars all rolled into one of the world's biggest playgrounds, Disneyland.
Pouco depois da festa, começaram as gravações de um novo projeto que mudaria a carreira de Miley. Era o filme The Last Song, uma adaptação de Nicholas Sparks, autor de Diário de uma Paixão. O longa contava a história de uma adolescente rebelde que passa o verão com o pai distante em uma cidade litorânea. A personagem parecia feita sob medida, uma jovem que queria se libertar, mas ainda buscava amor e perdão. Era, em muitos sentidos, um reflexo da própria Miley naquele momento. Foi nas filmagens de The Last Song que ela conheceu o ator australiano Liam Hemsworth, com quem iniciaria um relacionamento duradouro e conturbado. Na época, os tabloides transformaram o romance em manchete. Enquanto fãs celebravam o casal, críticos diziam que aquilo fazia parte de uma estratégia para reforçar o novo visual de Miley. Mais madura, mais mulher.
How did you wind up meeting, obviously on the movie, you guys meet before the movie?
No, well, kind of. They were casting, and so my mom had gotten it narrowed down to like 3, basically, of everyone, of like Liam's character, and then everyone's different character, so I went in and like read with them.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was like a
an
blind
arranged
date.
marriage
kinda.
or
Yeah.
something.
The more we got to hang out, the more I got to know him, and like he's super respectful and super smart, and there's not many people like that out here.